Lagerstroemia indica is crepe myrtle. These are the plants that you see, sort of multi-stem, small trees that bloom brightly all summer, from white to pink to kind of purplish and red. They're also lower shrub forms, but we most often see the multi-stem tree form. But there are many, many cultivated varieties of crepe myrtle. On the crepe myrtle stem, you'll see that it's kind of ridged, and the leaves typically are opposite. They're sort of a oval shape, medium green, occasionally a little cleft on the end, sometimes a taper on the end, no teeth along the margin. But typically they're opposite. But on fast-growing stems, the crepe myrtle doesn't quite get the leaves to be opposite, so they appear to be alternate. Really, a true alternate leaf arrangement, you're going to have these sort of evenly spaced. So it's kind of like an opposite that didn't quite make it. It's not quite exact. But it's fairly common to see that on the crepe myrtle leaf arrangement. The bark on the crepe myrtle trunk is another pretty interesting ID characteristic. The bark, the outer bark, actually exfoliates and falls off. You can see there's kind of piles of bark along around the bottom of these plants, and it leaves the smooth inner bark with sort of different color patterns. And these just continue to develop as the plant gets older. You'll find the crepe myrtles blooming in all the color ranges from white to pink to some lavender, purple. There are some true red crepe myrtles now. As I mentioned earlier, they have a really long bloom season. The crepe myrtles bloom on the current season's growth. So as the plant keeps growing, it keeps producing more potential for blooming. Most of the crepe myrtles will produce this little seed capsule after the bloom. Some of the recent hybrids do not produce seeds, and when they don't, that actually lengthens their bloom time. But typically you'll see these little dried seed capsules after the crepe myrtle blooms. The fall color of the crepe myrtle just extends another season of interest. It has a reddish fall color, pretty showy, and since they're usually planted in the sun, they do much better in the sun. They don't bloom very well in the shade. The fall color develops really well in the sun, sort of an orange to then a kind of a burgundy red fall color. And then with the branching habit on the crepe myrtles, it's a kind of a sculptural element with the multiple stems and the branching habit in the winter. You'll notice that this particular crepe myrtle was not topped, like you see a lot of crepe myrtles treated in the landscape, which is actually preferable to leave the natural growth habit because that helps it stay stronger.